All right, so here we go. We're going to go 7 rounds this time. I did a mock draft like 2, 3 months ago, and we went 4 rounds. We're going to go 7 this time. And I know a little bit more about these prospects. I haven't covered as much as I possibly wanted to. But, once we get to a certain point in the draft, we're going to do it, especially what these teams do in real life, which is just pick off of vibes. Just go off of what happens from the vibes. So let's get straight into it. We're going to go Giants. We're going to go solo, and we're going to go 7 rounds. All right. So here we are at pick 3, and we got a trade offer from the Panthers. They want 8. We would get an 8. They give 3. We get pick 57, and we get a 3rd round next year. Not interested. So the Jets would give us 7, 42, and a 2nd next year. So those picks are like 10 picks earlier, and then instead of a 3rd next year, we get a 2nd next year. So that's possible. I might think about that. So Cam Ward is Ashton Jeanty went to the. That's like Trent Richardson all over again. Except I hope hopefully he's better than Trent Richardson. But another short running back, man. Okay, number 3 overall. Of course, the top players on the board: Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders. That's what the Giants will be looking at if the crazy Browns went and took Ashton Jeanty at number 2. So what am I thinking here? I love Abdul Carter, but I don't think he's a better player than Travis Hunter. I don't know how he would be considered the number 1 player. Yes, he had some very dominant games, but I don't think he's the number 1 player over Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter is, of course, Travis Hunter. So not much to be said there. And then you got Shedeur Sanders. So I'm really interested in that trade back option, but none of these 3 players are going to be there for a trade back. So at that point, you have no way that you can trade back out of this opportunity. So I think if it's just Abdul Carter or if it's just Travis Hunter there for Shedeur Sanders, you might lean towards Shedeur Sanders. But in this situation, since both of them are there, it's like, how could you pass on both of them? Like, if you pass on one, there's a chance that guy could just not be as good. But if you pass on both, one of these guys is going to be an all-pro. Shedeur Sanders could very well be that, but I know for a fact that one of these 2 are going to be an all-pro. So I'm just going to go with the best player on my board, and I'm just going to go with Travis Hunter, and we're going to keep it moving. So there we go. Abdul Carter next to the Patriots. Membu to the Jags, and Shedeur goes to the Jets. Wow. So backing up, Justin Fields. Ted McMillan, Will Campbell, Jalen Walker, Mike Green. Nothing crazy here. Harmon went pretty high to the Steelers. Golden goes at 20. Wasn't interested in him. Booker in the 24. Ezraku, 27. Abuka goes at the end of the 1st round. Nothing crazy. Revel. I would have loved to get Siobhan Revel or Ravel with this pick. We already took Travis Hunter, so we're probably not doubling up there. But looking at this, I mean, let's see what else is here. 49, that's way too. I can't go far. I can't go back this far. So I'm not taking either one of these trade offers. Walter Nolan, I can't talk. Walter Nolan is sitting here staring me right in the face. Luther Burden is a guy that I'm extremely high on that I would take in like the top 10. So he's by far the highest player on my specific board. On my board, he's the highest player. So beyond that, Walter Nolan fits a need. He's an explosive player, and he probably makes the most sense here. So you also got Jackson Dart. You also got Milroe. I'm not going there that quickly. Luther Burden is so high on my board, but Walter Nolan makes a lot of sense. And then Omarion Hampton is another shot where you're like, maybe I just go ahead and take a running back there because he's just so good and he's there and it's the 2nd round. It's not the 1st, so I could justify it. Man. So what I'm going to do is just a good old fashioned eeny, meeny, miny, mo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'll go Walter Nolan. I'll go Walter Nolan just because he fits the need, because I know he's going to make this team better. And I'm very sad that I have to pass on Omarion Hampton and Luther Burden, which I have over him on my draft board, but I really think that Walter Nolan is a really good player that I can look at and justify being a first round pick. And, you know, he's right there. He fits the need. So sad to pass on those two. Mason Taylor went pretty high right there. Burden goes to the Pats. That's a really great fit. Ursery, a guy I'm not that high on, goes to the Bears. Benjamin Morrison, a guy I love, goes, where did he go? Where'd he go? Benjamin Morrison. They won't let me see. But he got taken off the board there, and we will let this run. Jalen Milroe goes to the Steelers. I could see that. Definitely. And we're going to be pulling up on our third round pick. And now we have 2 third round picks. I'm excited about that. There's no way I'm trading out of this top of the third round pick. Way too much value there. So this is where I look to take my guy, Tyler Shough, who's valued at number 99. Now, am I gonna take him here? In real life, I think Shough is going to go around this time, but I don't think he'll go around this time on this board. So if I miss out on him, that's just a cautionary tale to just say don't pass on a quarterback you like. But Isaiah Bond is there. Nice wide receiver. Dart is there. I wouldn't pull the trigger on, but maybe you do. I have Dart slightly ahead of Shough, but I would much rather get a good player and Shough than Dart and a player I'm not as high on. So Higgins is there, and the third round is 65. Isaiah Bond is there. Isaiah Bond is kind of short in stature, isn't he? He's 5'10". I don't think we need any more short guys. Higgins has that size at 6'4". We haven't gone on the offensive line yet. Emory Jones is an option, being an LSU guy. Azari Thomas, I'm not really looking for corner. We're pretty stacked at corner right now with what we got. Marcus Mbao. Should I go Marcus Mbao? I think I may very well look in that direction, but he'd be a nice swing tackle. He's got some nice measurables, if I'm not mistaken. 6'4", 303, athletic guy. I think he's a guy we can move to guard. I think he's a guy we can move to guard, and let's see what happens there. I think he's got a lot of great tools. So take him at guard, and then hopefully our quarterback is there at the end of the third round. Hopefully we didn't make a big mistake. Emory Jones goes shortly after me not taking him. That's unfortunate. So here we go. Tate Ratledge. That's about right. Arroyo. That's nice value getting Arroyo in the third round. I think he's going to be a Pro Bowl type tight end. Jack Bech, a guy I'd love to be a Giant, but I'm not sure we take him. Over some of the way that this draft is going to fall and the needs that we have. And there's a ton of good players on the D-line. I'm not sure that we would take them. So there we go. Shamar Turner, a guy I think is pretty good. Scatterboo goes a pick before our pick here, and I'm just not going to waste any time about it. Hopefully Shough is still on the board, and he is. Let's take Tyler Shough. I think Tyler Shough could be our quarterback of the future. A bit older, has had a ton of injuries, but if he can put it together, that's going to be a nice pick for us. So let's look at this board again. Let's see if we missed out on anything between that. I wasn't really interested in any of these players anyway, so fine by me. We did take Walter Nolan in the top of the second round. We did take a tackle that I think we can move to guard. And then Jordan Burch here is sticking out. Athletic edge here. Ah, man. He's sticking out like a sore thumb. Let's see if they just have anybody ranked really lowly that I disagree with. I don't think so. I don't think any of these players really stick off the page for me. Running back. This could be a nice chance to look at running back because I think there's probably going to be a fall off after Dylan Sampson, who's still on the board, which is nuts to me. So I could go after the running back to complement what we have. Damian Martinez is a really great compliment. He's a powerful runner. And then I have Jordan Burch here. So what's after Jordan Burch here? Billy Bowman, Kobe Bryant. No, I'm like, Kobe's a corner. So what's after him? So you're looking at, the next guy I would look at is Savion Jones, Jack Sawyer. So maybe I could get the next wave of edge, but I don't feel as good about the next wave of running backs. Now I do have Devin Neal there. He's a powerful runner, but he's kind of reminds me of Singletary. Kind of reminds me of Singletary the way he runs. He's not a big back, but he runs powerfully. So what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna take Damian Martinez or Dylan Sampson. Dylan Sampson is a guy that I love, but I think we need a little bit more size. So let's go with Damian Martinez here, and we'll just look after edge here for this next pick, which is gonna be at the beginning of round 5. I think so. If we have that pick, we'll find out soon. So let's see what's coming off the board. Terrence Ferguson. Quinn Ewers goes in round 4. Okay. Ty Felton, Ollie Gordon. Yeah, I was convinced that these running backs would not make it to the next round, and it seems like I'm right. We haven't seen Burch come off the board, have we? Is Jordan Burch still on the board? Oh, he's gone. He's gone. So we're gonna go Savion Jones out of LSU. Oh, we don't have a pick here. Okay. So we are a little bit further out in round 5. So Jared Ivey there, Jack Sawyer is there, Ja Joyner, Tyler Botti, and Dylan Sampson's still there. So good thing I didn't take him. Let's look what else is here on the big board. Malachi Moore, a little bit of safety depth there, maybe a little bit of safety depth. Malachi Moore, and then you got your edge players here. Let's see. I have Malachi Moore over pretty much everybody else that's on the board, so I'm just going to take the best player. I feel good about us addressing the defensive tackle spot. Hopefully one of these edges that I somewhat like will be here, and they're all gone. So we're pretty much done here on this side. Jack Sawyer's there. Tyler Botti's still there. Okay. I don't know if we have a 6th round pick, or maybe it's at the end of the 6th round, beginning of the 7th. But that may be our last pick. Let's see. We got 2 more picks. I'm so glad that comp pick came in. I'm so glad that McKinney delivered us that comp pick, and it's just so unfortunate that he's not still a Giant, but it is what it is. It is what it is. And all these edge players are gone. I'm not even going after edge at this point. Let's see. Hemingway. Let's see if we can get a tight end somewhere. If anybody's there I still like. Nope. Nothing there at tight end. Let's leave Kyron Lacy and Jimmy Horn. I'm looking right at them. Jimmy Horn really fast. Very fast. I would love to get Jimmy Horn here, but we kind of already have a Jimmy Horn in Jalen Hyatt, but I think Jimmy Horn might be a little bit more polished. Kyron Lacy had the legal issues, but I've seen everything. As an LSU fan, I've been watching it. I was sad to see everything happen and him fall down these draft boards, but it seems like he's innocent from the last thing I saw. If he is innocent, Kyron Lacy in round 7 is a steal. Would the Giants do this in real life? Probably not. They like guys who can, sing in a choir. But Kyron Lacy's here. In my mock draft, I'm taking him. I think he's well worth that shot. He's a guy that can play outside, inside, possession, go up and grab the ball, big body. I love that pick. Absolutely love that pick. And did I take Higgins early on? I think I might have passed on Higgins because I ended up going with the tackle. So there you go. There's your big body wide receiver who I think can contribute year 1. And here we're in round 7 again. There's not much here. I'm thinking of taking a second quarterback, but it's like you're not keeping 4 or 5 quarterbacks. So let's abandon that. Let's just go ahead and just put through this pick here with Howard Cross. Hopefully still on the. Oh, excuse me. Howard Cross is no longer on the board. He's no longer on the board. So we actually got to get creative here. Let's see if the kicker's there. Let's see. Ryan Fitzgerald. Solid kicker, Ryan Fitzgerald. Really good, really accurate kicker. So I'm going to go ahead and grab him. And that's how we're going to wrap things up. That's how we're going to wrap it up. And 7 picks. Travis Hunter, Walter Nolan, Marcus Mbow, Tyler Shuck. Hopefully quarterback of the future. And here we go. So, yeah, Travis Hunter. Love that pick. He's going to be a contributor. He's going to change things, hopefully, on the defense, and of course, give us some stuff on offense. Walter Nolan is going to shore up that defensive line, stop the run, get after the quarterback a little bit. Marcus Mbaugh, hopefully a guard of the future that's going to feed families for us. Hopefully he's going to do some stuff for us. Tyler Shuck, he's a guy that, again, hopefully is the quarterback of the future. Got a lot of great tools, but he's aging a bit. He's like 26. So he's got to get out there probably at the end of this year or next year, or else he's going to be starting when he's 30. Damian Martinez, powerful back. Perfect complement, I think, to what we have there in that backfield. Malachi Moore, solid safety. Good depth there. Kyron Lacy, I think, is a guy that should be going in the second day, but legal things, other things off the field. We'll see how that whole thing works out. We'll see if he even gets drafted. And then Ryan Fitzgerald, solid kicker. I think he's had something like where he didn't miss any extra points the last couple years. So really good player. And there you go. 7 rounds deep. We're going to have some more draft videos that are going to come out in the coming weeks, specifically around the Giants players or potential Giants players. I'm going to probably try to focus on the defensive tackles a little bit. I got a lot recorded for, what's the guy's name? I got a lot recorded for that athletic guy, Derek Harmon. So you'll probably see that first. But you all let me know what you think of this mock draft. I'm sure some of you would have taken a quarterback round 1, but let me know.